Good morning, welcome to Morning View. This is Kim speaking on Monday, the 9th of January. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and well, Friday we saw a bit of a sell off, not too much of a surprise after it ran as it had the previous 2 days. We're just finding it coming back, looking for potential support around the daily 21, daily 8. However, we do have the weekly pivots below us around the 34, the 240, the 4 hourly 34 and 50, so there is a chance it could slip through those two moving averages. In fact, it won't be too far through before it would find some support there. Looking at the shorter time frame or intermediate time frame of the analyses here, and we've had lower highs put in through the session, so it's just running into, or it has just run into its 60-minute 21s, or air kissed them at least. And looks like it, well, there is the potential for it to move down towards that zone of the weekly pivot there, and also the daily pivot seems to be sitting. Where's the daily pivot sitting? Oh, it's above. It's underneath that 50. So we've got a daily pivot above us. That's okay. Hiding away there. So, well, we'll see how the market runs. So, between the rock and a hard place, in which case the trend, this intermediate trend, to me is facing south at the moment. We need to watch this carefully. Could go in that case either way to hit either of the pivots first. If it hits the lower pivot, I'd prefer that in a sense because of the direction. And I may then look at the long side to play for the daily pivot if it gives me a sufficient signal in line with what we've been seeing previously, and vice versa maybe. If it runs up towards that daily pivot early, I will look at it closely and may even look for a sell point back in trend then, and in a sense that would be a preferred route, but we'll see how it maps out this morning. Okay, for cable then. Cable sold off on Friday pretty strongly. It carried on selling off through the Asian session. It's sold off and left a minute gap sort of between the opens on the markets there, but the gap's been taken up by the price action in between it. But we'll see. It might come back at some point. But I should imagine this sort of additional notes and comments by the Prime Minister and interviews over the weekend has created this sort of uncertainty around the pound again, and it's heading down quite strongly at the moment. Coming into 60-minute, well, of course, it's the weekly and daily pivots are above it, so any reversal gives us some nice targets, but maybe some hopeful targets on a day like this, and it may be that it'll just come back to the 60-21 if we do get any retrace. But at the moment, as I said, it's selling off relatively strongly. It's a marginal sort of, no, there was no divergence. I was looking to see it. It looked like there was a bit of, oh, sorry, wrong indicator. There we go. No, streaming on the RSI. This just looks like it could just run off a little bit further, than in which case, if it extremes, any retrace gives us the shot back down again. So looking weak for the pound. Dollar yen. Well, again, if I talk about weakness, and this is pushing up again and starting to, I mean, Friday saw quite a retrace, and we're just seeing really a bit more of a continuation there, and the potential for that to continue looks pretty much the same as the pound in a sense, although again we've got the weekly and daily pivots below us. Would need to see some sort of correction and for a trade of those, or to try and trade those high probability moves, but at the moment, I'll just let the market settle itself out there. But it does look like there's a bit of weakness, which could see further upside. Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar here again, Friday, no surprises here. Also we saw effectively the dollar strengthen across all the majors, and it closed pretty negatively there, ran into its daily 34 for the second day. And at the moment, well, the weekly pivot's below it. In this price action, it's put a marginally lower high. To me, that looks like that could track back down towards that weekly pivot. In the bigger picture, it fits with the trend. So there is the potential it could roll back for that at least. Looking at the shorter time frames, we're all over the daily pivot at the moment, and as I said, it does look to me, it looks weak. Break of these lows here at these earlier lows could just sort of confirm the potential for the downside target of that weekly pivot. Finally, Canadian dollar's just run out quick peep of oil. Okay, it's holding up around about the $53, $53.50 mark. Let's come back to Canadian dollar, and well, that's again, we saw a reversal bar there, a spinning top sitting there, so it looks really like there's potential again. And all these markets are really showing, the pound's already sold off, but the other markets are all showing the potential for their movement, the weakness back to their weekly pivots, and this looks no exception. And we could see this being pushing up as well. So look through from an intermediate point of view. You haven't seen quite the same sort of signals at the low here, no divergences or anything like this as such on this hourly time frame. So it's well, but it looks like it's well on for the weekly pivot anyway. So looks like the dollar strength may just continue this morning as we run through. We'll get a continuation at dollar strength. Any changes? Perhaps the euro looks more looks a bit stronger than certainly the pound at the moment, which is looking particularly weak. The yen's looking soft against the upside. Aussie's a bit more consolidated, but so possibly the if you're looking at the strength against the US dollar, the euro and the Aussie, and perhaps again the Canadian dollar actually is looking like it could do something there. But otherwise, I'm really looking at weakness. The pound's already made the move, so again, although it's the currency I'm looking for the strength in, I would also be looking for the moves on the Aussie dollar and the euro dollar to the downside. Okay, that's it for me. News-wise today is very little news. Bank holiday for Japan, and some low-key data coming out through the morning. You've got the Halifax house price index coming out at 8:30, which is not a mover at all. Why they colour it as they do, it's an insignificant bit of news at the moment. So at 8:30, I don't expect any ripple from that. And then at 3:30, we've got the Canadian data, the Bank of Canada's Business Outlook Survey, which may create a little bit of volatility, but unlikely to do too much. So have a great one. Bye for now.